In today's video, we are going to be decorating our porch for Christmas. It's going to be in the traditional colors. You're going to see lots of reds, you're going to see some green and white. So come along with us for that step by step to see how we welcome in the season that is Christmas. If you have never been here before, my name is Marlene. Welcome to my home and garden channel. Welcome everyone. Now let's get to decorating. So these are some of the items we're going to be using. I got some poinsettia bushes at Old Time Pottery. The original price was $7.99, but they had them at 25% off, so that was a great deal. And you can see that they are pretty large. These are about 2 feet tall, so that's a good height, very versatile. And these are some branches that my husband got from the trees in our backyard, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Over here we have some ribbons. And those ribbons were from the dollar store, and they're going to be used on these lanterns right here. And I actually got these lanterns for $5 a piece there, and I was so excited to have gotten them. And there you're seeing some little trees that are going to go inside of those. And then over here now we have the ribbon. This is a velvet one. That along with a curling ribbon to the right, I'm going to use those, and we're going to wrap the columns in a candy cane style. It's going to be a double pinstripe, so that's a challenge this year. And that little hanger there, like a door hanger, is what we are going to be putting instead of the wreath on the door this year. So first thing that my husband did was to get the little branches, and we're going to go ahead and get them sprayed so they can be a nice color that's going to pop with the arrangement. And I'm going to be using some gloss spray right here. And I think that's probably the best in this case. Give it a little bit of sheen, it's making more seasonal and more eye-catching. So I just went in on a day that was, nice and dry and clear, and just sprayed them on, and then, had them dry on the one side, flipped them over, and then had them done on the other side. So that's basically free because I had the spray paint already. And then over here now, he's going in and blowing all the leaves off the porch. And guys, initially it was very warm. The fall was late this year, so that's why we're getting so many leaves so late in the season. But he went ahead and blew them all off. And of course there'll be more, but we'll just treat them as they come along. And these leaf blowers, they're so efficient, guys. So I'll link in the description box below if you wanted to get one of these on Amazon. It makes it so easy. And over here now, this is the basically a blank slate, we could say, because everything has been cleaned off and just ready and waiting to get started with the decorations. Over here, these are 2 large containers that I have on either side of the bench, and we're going to be putting some flowers in there. We have some soil, some potting soil in those that have been pressed down. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So the weather got colder, so I had to change, well, not change, but put my little jacket on. And now we're going to go ahead and, get to wrapping these columns. And we're going to be using the ribbons like I mentioned before. You can see it's a nice velvety. I like it. This was from Walmart. I've had it for a little while, and I keep, I buy several rolls of those and put them down. And this is a curling ribbon. So we're going to go ahead and get started with wrapping the columns. So the first thing you want to do is to go in and put it at kind of like a 45-degree angle and just cut straight down like you see. So it's going to be at a slant angle right there. And then you just go ahead and wrap it round and round. And I'll show you a little bit more of that. But first we have to staple it. Because this is wood, it goes in easily. Of course, if you have maybe like concrete or something else that's harder to work with, you can maybe use like Velcro, like the command Velcro, and just attach it that way. And then the next thing that I do is to go ahead and just start putting it around at the same angle just to make sure it stays. And once you wrap it tight enough and you go around, it pretty much is going to do what it's supposed to do, just making sure that as you go up with it, the distance is the same between each of them. So then it's time to put on the pinstripe. And what I normally do is to put some tape on it first, of course, making sure it's really dry first. And then, getting the stapler and just stapling it on so it will stay in place. Even if it rains, it will still be there, because we've done this for many years and it always works out for us. So we highly recommend this if you're trying to go for this style. Now, we did put them a little too far apart, so we had to go back in, take them off, and put them a little bit closer, which you'll see in a minute. But if you wanted to see the step-by-step of how we wrap it from the bottom to the top, this is actually available, this video, in our Christmas series, which will be at the end. You can check it out there. So this is the finished product, guys, and I think it looks so much like a candy cane. If you believe that, if you think so, I would say definitely give us a thumbs up if you can, if you agree. So now the pots are waiting on either side of the door, and it has potting soil which I pressed down to make sure it is a little firm. And then the next thing that I did was to go in and start placing the rugs. And I like to layer my rugs because I think it adds a little bit more fullness, a little bit more interest to what you're doing. And I've used this one many times. I just wash it and reuse it and it's good to go. I'll probably get a striped one next year. And this one says Be Merry and it has a nice pop of red, which I think is perfect for the season and for this color scheme that I'm working with, which is basically red, white, and green. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put this sign in. I was kind of hoping that I'd get something that said like maybe Noel or Joy to the World or something like that. But I didn't see any, so I just used this one that I had before. And this is actually from the Family Dollar a couple of years ago for $5. So quite inexpensive. And the Joy to the World sign is up at I think this one was from Five and Below, the Joy to the World sign. So now I'm going in with the little branches that have been sprayed and I'm going to go ahead and stick them in if I can have it not stick me. Oh my goodness. I'm going to go ahead and stick them in there. And I think they're a little bit higher than they should have been or that they could have been. So at a later time, we're going to go in and take them out and cut them down. But for right now, we're just going to work with it and, see how it comes along. But I like it. It's like a thriller in there and it kind of adds interest. It pulls your eye in and also, lifts the whole thing up. So I think it works very, very well. And it's just a matter of tweaking here and there to get it to what you really want. And like I said, you can always go in and cut a little piece off to make it a little shorter. So now it's time to talk about our poinsettias and to get them fixed. So if the weather is basically warm enough in your area where your overnight temperatures don't drop below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, I would say go for real poinsettias because they are so beautiful and there is nothing like the real thing. Nothing like it. Absolutely gorgeous and they just pop so much. But if it's colder than that, the leaves will drop, so you don't want to put stress on your plants and have them looking, raggedy and all of that. So if you're not in that situation where it's warm enough, just go for what I did here and just put, because I'm not, it gets pretty cold here. We're actually below freezing already. So overnight, that is. So I'm just using these and I think they work very well. And I'm not going to fluff them out too much because I want more of a kind of a topiary look with them. So it does add interest. It has like a kind of like a, like a global kind of a look or a globe kind of thing. And it works really well. And just to say that, I do love to decorate my home for Christmas. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you can see not only my future videos, but you can see some of the past Christmas videos as well. And of course, once Christmas is over, I'll go back to my flowers and my plants. So next thing to do now was to add the lanterns. I made the bows and I put them on there. And I'm just so happy with this purchase. I really am, because they're very large and they are so versatile, guys. You can use lanterns on your porch for any season of the year. It's just a matter of what you put inside of it and the type of ribbons that you put on top or whatever else you want to put. Next are going to be the trees that I'm going to place inside of them. And they could have been maybe a little bit larger, but I think they're a decent enough size. And this kind of like, adds a different color in, adds a green into all of the red that's showing around here. So it does create a bit of a balance in terms of the whole color scheme there. Next is to hang our door hanger here instead of the wreath, because I've always done the wreath, but I thought I'd try something different this time. And so I went in and I did take the sheer ribbons out because I felt that this ribbon here, that it matches, it's the same thing for the one that's on the porch columns, and it's so much richer. So take a look and see the difference. It just pops so much. So I'm so glad that I decided to go along with that. And you can see how it's looking there. It looks really, really nice. And just so seasonal. I absolutely love it. And right here, my husband is telling me that it's not quite straight. So I'm trying to fix it. And we did go in and we adjusted the strap on the back to make it a little bit more snug so it wouldn't swing at all as we were putting it there. So I just love it. And I think it works so well. So next thing now was to add in the poinsettias that are on either side of the bench. And these are going to get used year after year after year. They're pretty good quality and they're large and they really pop. So I just absolutely love them. And of course, what I do on the one side, I'm doing on the other side because I'm trying to make it as symmetric as possible. And just fluffing them out a bit here. And this little bit of fabric here, I got this at Joann's, and I paid maybe like about $4 for it because they had like 40% off and then another 40% off at the checkout corner, which was really, really nice. The lady who served me there, the young lady, she was very, very kind, and she looked it up and she did it, and I didn't even ask her, so I thought that was really nice. And I'm putting a wreath in on there just to give a pop of green over here as well. And I think it works really, really well. And now, guys, it is time for the reveal. I'm going to go ahead and set it to music so you can enjoy what we did here and just, get into the spirit of this season. So I hope that this will inspire you to get going on your Christmas decorations for your porch if you haven't already, or maybe just to inspire you for a future year to maybe try something like this to see if it will work for you. I want to encourage you to celebrate this season and the reason for it. I want to thank you so much for coming back to my channel time and time again and giving me such great support. Merry Christmas when it gets here. Enjoy your time with your friends and family for this season that is Christmas. Take care.